So tell me about today. What's going on?
Today we are having our Spring Garden Festival here in Fiddler's Grove. I think this is about the 5th one that we've had. It has been moved to Fiddler's Grove to incorporate that in with the Garden Festival. The Master Gardeners and the Arboretum Committee do so much for Fiddler's Grove here. And so we have joined together to have this festival, and we plan on doing this every year. We've got a plant sale. We have artisans here, our Fiddler's Grove artisans like the blacksmiths and the wood carvers, our people that weave our cloth and that kind of thing here today. Plant sale is going on. We've got different vendors here, and we hope to do this again next year in April.
They need something to eat.
They're chewing their breakfast.
They're chewing their cud.
Really nice. Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Now you're spinning. Is that alpaca?
This is alpaca that I'm spitting.
You have alpaca.
I do. I have 15 alpacas. I'm out Canesville Road headed towards Gallery.
There you go.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. I just don't want to step in front of you.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, ma'am. The hardest part of weaving, and it's not really hard, it's just time consuming. This is the simplest way to work a loom, but what we call dress a loom. That's what takes actually taking each thread and making it the proper length on a working board.
Yeah.
Then you have to take each one of those, and they have to be threaded through one of these and beater reed, and it has to be tied on. So you have to tie it. So
Yeah,
the
very
dressing
time
the loom-
consuming.
Dressing the loom is the most time consuming.
consuming.
Definitely. Definitely. There are times where some of my projects take 3 weeks to just dress the loom.
Yeah,
And that
sure.
doesn't count. That doesn't count the
photos of this, and this is my grandson Joseph. And what I did is when I took the picture, I just painted the round on the thing and then took it up to Emily and she printed this out for me. Anyway, but we had it. But look what this one did. I mean, that's a kaleidoscope.
That's cool.
Yeah, look at the things. Anyway, but that's your present for today. Oh, we hustle those for 3 days a month. But anyway, but usually when I have a bunch of kids in here, we do the tweed. I wish I were a little, I'm way up in a tweed.
And that's
I wish I were,
grandson.
yeah, I wish that's Joseph. This is a peg loom, and it goes back over 2,000 years, and you have to have someone make it. So I'm the only one that has 2 of them in the state of Tennessee. Now my friend is going to make one, but you have to make them with dowel rods, and it's reverse weaving, where your warp cord comes up through these pegs, and it keeps on going, and you pull your warp cord. It's not on a big loom, and then you put them all back in again, and you start weaving again, and you're weaving from the bottom up, just like a Navajo loom. And you can do twill weaves, you can do sumac weaves, you can put heavy yarn, you can put thin yarn, you could use trout line if you wanted to. But this one has 70 pegs in it, and the one down there just has 24, and that's what I use to teach kids how to do it. That's it.
So do you teach here at Fiddler's Grove a lot?
No, I taught in the public school system art for 16 years at Byers Dowdy.
Okay. Well, that's important.
Yeah, and in the morning I'm a portrait painter, and in the afternoon, when all my children start bugging me, I start waving. That's the way it goes.
Welcome to the TSIS.
And I'll be seeing you for Miss Pastor Gardner.
She's just Brandon.
Are you one of those two?
Good.
First graduated.
Congratulations.
Okay, Mr. Ben Pulley, when he passed away, his daughters didn't know what to do with his train set, and so he donated it to Fiddler's Grove, and that was what got the ball rolling to build this railroad museum here at Fiddler's Grove.
Can you say they're O scale?
These are old scale here, which was what a lot of people from the 40s and 50s had, the old tin plate, old 57, and then in this room we have HO scale. And,
So how many actual cars do you have? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea. We've got them all around the different places on the walls. And, some of them still run. Some of them are just for show now because they're so old they'd have to be reworked. But we've been here now, I think, 5 or 6 years. This building itself used to be a modular classroom. And the county wasn't using it anymore, and they gave it to us for, I think it was $100, but we had to move it. And to make it fit in with Fiddler's Grove, we had to put the wood siding on the outside, and kind of try to make it look like an old freight house. And we're open here. They want to try and get it open every Friday and Saturday from April to the end of October, but we're volunteers, and it's hard to get enough volunteers. We don't have a big enough pool of volunteers to do it every Friday and Saturday. But I'm up here most summers, and this runs all day for the 9 days of the Wilson County Fair. So that's the biggest draw for this is the Wilson County Fair. And then apparently, I used to go up there and ride the hill up the fire that ran from Austin to the road.
Celebrating 25 years of Fiddler's Grove Historical Village this year. Everybody here is no guest. Y'all are all family. And over 25 years ago, there was an idea. The people that we are honoring today were part of that idea, and many of the rest of you were too. From that idea, there was a dream. Then there was lots of blood, sweat, and tears. And then today is what we are all enjoying as the reality of it. And we are all the caretakers of it.
So I do not have a speech today, but I'm going to talk to you about Carlton and Geneva and Fiddler's Grove. In 1989, this was a grown-up thicket. And we had been to some other fairs that had pioneer villages and had been up east to some of those villages and kept coming up, why couldn't we have something like that here in Wilson County? And so one day, Hale and I met with Carlton and Geneva out here, and they inspired us to go forward with that thought. Carlton had the building knowledge and Geneva had a vision and had the historical knowledge to help us do what we thought we could do. And so during that winter, Geneva's brain started working, and she started working on a plan. You know, we didn't have any money. That's as normal the situation here. We didn't have any money for a plan. We just had Geneva's plan. And instead of having a master plan with the buildings drawn out and whatever, Geneva went out and got some sticks one day and laid the road out with sticks. And that's how we got started. She also had the thought of getting with G. Frank Burns to see if we could come up with a historical name that went with Eddie Jacobs and them, and so that's how the word Fiddler's Grove came about as well. But we're here to honor two people today that have been a driving force behind this village. They've had the vision, they've had the historical knowledge, and Carlton especially has had the knowledge of taking something that had history to it and making something out of it. And it's kind of amazing how it all developed from April the 17th of 1991 as we're celebrating this 25th history here this year of our village. And within a 3-year period of time, we had 13 buildings that happened here in this village. And so it took off with a great force. Geneva and Carlton driving us. And, you know, as soon as we got one building, other buildings began to appear and whatever. And just to reminisce a little bit, the cart mill cabin was the first one. The weaving house, the post office, and the school, and Mr. Luther's blacksmith shop all happened in 1991. In 1992 was the Forbes cabin, Dr. Fisher's office, and the general store. And that general store was a major drive for us as it kind of gave us something there for an entrance. And then in 1993 we had the kitchen, the bank, the jail, and Roland's barn. And from that point it has developed from that, because then we had enough after 3 years to say we truly had a village, thanks to both of y'all. Not only have they helped in developing it, but Geneva has helped to develop the history of it, to maintain that, and we wish we had all the knowledge that she has up here in a book somewhere. She's done some videos and different things which are so great to help us to continue to tell this story. But it does have a strong story. We're very fortunate here in Wilson County to have something like this, and as we look at the fair, one of the main things that makes us different than other county fairs is Fiddler's Grove. And so we can't say thank you enough to both of you for all that you've done. You have a lane named for you, Thomas Lane, already. And now you're going to have a special tree, and we want you to be around so many years that you can come up here and sit under the shade of this tree as it develops. Let's give them a round of applause for all of that.
Let them pull the bow.
If y'all will pull the bow and unveil the marker, and then if y'all would like to say something.
I'll help pull the bow and I'll let her do the talking.
No, we have to see your name on there. That's the whole idea.
Somebody tried to do the hard knock.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a master gardener who did that. We do everything really good.
It's Carol Wing.
No, actually, another lady did it. Doris did it.
Yay! Thank you very much.
Can't even pronounce it.
Johnston Chestnut.
This other stuff.
Oh, you don't have to know that. How many of y'all know Latin?
In honor of Carlton Thomas. He's got both names.
So, you gotta make a speech.
I don't really have a speech. This has just been a part of my life that I never dreamed I would ever do anything like this. But when we moved from Nashville to Wilson County, we bought an old log house. It was in really bad shape. So we spent 3 years tearing down and building back. So I guess that kind of got in my blood, and I could see that I didn't have a lot of knowledge about building, but I knew I could stack those logs with pinching. But anyway, as this progressed to this area here, it was all grown up. There was a fence across here that it was not used for anything. The fair didn't use it, no one else used it. So from that, I don't know if it was Randall, I'm sure it was, and he not kind of guided us along our way, but we needed a road to lay off through the middle of the village. And so I didn't have anything to use, so I got sticks. So, you know, when you get desperate, you can use most anything. And so we got someone to come and plow the road out for us. And after that, we started placing houses, the buildings, where we thought the size and everything would fit appropriately. And so we had no plan. We just, as people donated things, picked out a place to live. So what you see here is from all over Wilson County. Most of the families have donated these buildings to us, and we have gladly torn them down and relocated them here, and it became our village.
Many people that's been involved in this development of this Fiddler's Grove. It's you can't mention them, but Randall and Hale Moss and Joe Perry, they all were a big part of this, and a lot of volunteers that I can't even begin to name them. So a lot of people ought to be thankful for what they've done, not just us. We accept it with pride and honor and joy, and bless the people that did this. And that's it for me.
And thank you